Be live.
Hi, Martin. Yeah, just to talk about strategy for e-learning and digital learning. Well, basically, a vision for the future. So, with technology being everywhere, I mean, it's one of the things that's very hard. And sometimes I wonder if it should actually be have a point of focus. That's one thing I'm kind of wondering whether or not it actually negates from what we're trying to achieve by saying here's a technology strategy. Because if it is everywhere and it's part of life, we don't have a transport strategy. We don't have an eating strategy. Well, actually, we have a healthy eating strategy. but what I'm saying is, it's kind of part of life now, so it's very difficult. So I'm not too sure with moving forward whether separating it into a digital strategy is a good thing. However, saying that we do, and we have one. Uh, Also with technology, like I said, it's everywhere, but it's also very big. And what I mean by that is, um, which I like as well. But I mean, you can be talking to anyone from the States to a different part of the world, different cultures. It opens up such a vast array of opportunities. But what I think what's missing for education and what I respect is a community. It could still be part of a community, but I think we might lose sometimes that we are or we used to be part of a community where we based. So we Barking and Dagenham, so we've got a community in Barking and Dagenham. And for me, I think we could actually turn it around. I mean, the big stuff's great, and we should never miss that. But we could turn it around and think of the small stuff as well, like our local charities and our local people. And we take in, say, 12,000 students a year, but that's not a percentage of that. That's not like how can you say it, the majority of the people in our community. So we're not necessarily representing everyone. For me, I think it would be great if we could get the people that we don't normally represent into college. That would be a key one for me, would be really to get the people who wouldn't normally go to education, um, who wouldn't normally, who would, or who sees education as formal like it used to be when I grew up in school, etc., to see it as something different. And there's lots of challenges out there. And so we could work in the college with our assignments and our assessments, etc., on real community challenges and issues, especially such as topical ones, such as winter now, and how many people actually die from hypothermia, and it's an issue. It's a challenge, and we could work with the NHS, we could work with local charities, we could use the technology to say kind of how could we improve this. If we did that within our local community, working with local people, and we could achieve kind of overcome them challenges, we could then promote that outside, and technology allows you to do that. You could promote it then on a much larger scale. So sometimes I'm a bit concerned that we see the big too much, the Facebook and the cloud computing and everything. I mean, it's there, and LinkedIn, etc., promoting your career. However, coming back right back down to um, involving everyone, inclusivity. There's also with technology, which is a great thing, as I'm noticing now, is how much it's actually can involve everyone and how it can include people. There was a post this morning on G Plus about how on an iPhone, someone who has a sight impairment can actually ask someone else to via a video conference or via a video link on their phone or iPad or whatever, someone to help them. So see if the milk's out of date or something, so they could see a live image of it, and then the person can talk back, the person who's kind of coaching, mentoring, counseling, etc. And that opens it up. So I mean, so inclusivity is the key for me. It's that starting from there. Um, Also, because when you buy something new, you very rarely get help files or anything now, or guidebooks. We used to get 10 years, 15 years ago, when I'd buy my computer, I'd get a guidebook. When I bought a laptop, I'd get a guidebook, and it would be a big, thick book. I'd work through it, and I'd actually put time aside sometimes to try and learn elements of it. But we don't get that now. that it's just things are so natural, and they seem to be just, it's accepted that you will eventually come to learn them elements, and obviously probably by the time you come to learn something, it's probably changed from a book, it's probably moved on, it's probably does another function, other functionality. So I think we need to start thinking more in that respect of college systems being the same. So especially for learning systems, as in, you don't really get a Facebook book, you don't get a Twitter book or guide. So I think we should now try and get it so that we don't have to have these guides. Everything should be so intuitive. So for me, I think the key things are locality. Keep Because it's great that things can be big in with technology and digital technology, but keep coming back to your community. Um, then promote them challenges. I think inclusivity is the key thing as well. So in the strategy, it has to include, or at least have a major focus on inclusivity. And I think everything else will then fall into place. The people who would be in the middle, if so to speak. So if we can get students, if we can get people who wouldn't normally come into college, and we can get people who have disabilities, so to speak, if we can get them two extremes, and our digital technology and our strategy meets that, I personally think everything in the middle will fall into place. So yeah, so that's my vision for, I would say, for the next few years. It's too far to think 2020. You got to be mad to think 2020. Actually, that's only 5 years. Actually, maybe 2025 is a bit too much because technology moves so quickly. So yeah, I would have a 3-year max strategy.